Hello guys and welcome back to the Playhem EU Daily. Nerdstriker had to leave us. I know you're all going to be really sad about that. I am as well. It's been a while since I've been solo casting, so I hope you can bear with me for a tiny bit. But it should be completely fine because we're going into a sick match right now. Unfortunately, it is still a best of one. I was really hoping to see this match happen a little bit later in the tournament, but that's okay. Let's just hope this is going to be a good one, a sick long macro game between these two players. Our red Protoss player here in the 12 o'clock spawn position on MLG's Metalopolis. He's none other than evil geniuses EGAxslav. And in close air positions we see our purple Korean hero currently in California, I believe he said. I'm not too sure where exactly he is. But he's somewhere in the US and he's been competing in this Playhem Daily so often. I'm really loving him here. He's been doing so well in most of them. He is viOlet, currently teamless. He was on MVP in the past, but no longer. I definitely think he's going to be picked up by a foreign team pretty soon if he doesn't get picked up by a Korean team. Meantime, 15 pool going down for viOlet, while EGAxslav is playing it very standard. Of course, there's not much different you can do on this map. Sometimes we see Protoss players on this map go for the Forge Expand, but on this map there's so much surface area for roaches or banelings or any Zerg unit for that matter to deny that base. We see viOlet's being really cute here with one of his drones denying the mining on this one patch, actually trying to deny mining on 2 patches right now, and that's not going to work out too well. He's being really annoying. Might want to have gone for that gas steal there, but EGAxslav getting it up. He's actually, did he get that before? Yeah, he got that before Cybercore, just to make sure that it didn't get stolen. That's interesting, because viOlet really wanted to steal that gas, and really well done by EGAxslav getting that up. He's now going to drop his... he's not dropping his Cybercore just yet, and a drone dies. Nicely done by EGAxslav, zapping that one drone to death. Back in Zerg base, we don't see that many interesting things going down just yet. 4 links have been made, and the hatchery will go down at 20, which is a very standard timing. He's going to go for a relatively early speed, not super early, because he's only mining with 2 drones on that. Interesting, usually you see Zerg players get up to 100 really fast and then take their workers off gas. But that's completely fine. Ooh, EGAxslav has to be careful here. The Zealot is barely out in time. Has to get that in position, and he does. Has to start a sentry as well. There he goes. That was a little bit too close, in my opinion. Looks like viOlet wants to try to sneak in a Zergling, and I don't know about that. I guess EGAxslav does know about that. He's the pro player here, and I'm just a Master League Protoss player. But I always get so scared when there's like 4 links over here, and if you're going up against a great player like viOlet, he will try to sneak one of those links by. Not necessarily to do a crazy amount of damage, but just to get scouting information. And if he would have gotten a link pass, he would have been able to see that Stargate now going down by EGAxslav. Might see his trademark Phoenix play, but I think in a Protoss versus Zerg it could very well just be Void Rays. And I don't think that viOlet's going to be expecting this as much. These two players, by the way, have a huge history together. They played each other so many times, especially in Playhem events. They've met so many times in finals, they've met so many times in earlier rounds as well. And they've actually met in one of our show matches. If you haven't seen that show match, you should go and check it out. It is up on Playhem's YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/PlayhemTV. So if you want to see some of our past games and highlights, you should go and check it out there. viOlet is now thinking this is going to be a 1-gate expo, but that is not the case. There's a Void Ray on the way. He's making a lot of links right now, and those links are not going to be too useful. Ooh, this probes gets spotted by the 4 links. I don't think that EGAxslav has any idea about the crazy amount of links out on the map, and oh no, the Nexus going down. The Void Ray is out and is going to hunt down this Overlord. But these Zerglings could definitely deny this Nexus if they wanted to right now. There are some force fields, but those force fields are probably going to be used defensively. Warp Gate research has not finished up. Is this Void Ray going to be able to do enough damage to prevent this Nexus from being cancelled? Oh, the Zealot is getting caught out in the middle of the Forge being dropped, and I do think the links will be able to deny this Nexus, and this is going to be terrible for EGAxslav. He force fields his own sentries up the ramp, and there it goes. Nexus gets cancelled, and most of the Lings actually surviving there for viOlet, and they live to scout another day, most likely. Evolution Chamber with some upgrades on the way in the meantime for viOlet. Should see him get his third base soon, because EGAxslav really wants to expand as well. EGAxslav now adding on a lot of gateways. He's going up to 4 in total. Getting a forge. I'm curious to see what EGAxslav's going to be doing right now. He could try to kick that macro into overdrive. Actually a very exposed photon cannon there, because he couldn't find a good place to position it behind. All very interesting. Meantime, the Overlord, the Void Ray, has been scouting out some things, tried to kill a few stuffs as well, and more Lings have been created by viOlet. And oh, the force fields, EGAxslav not paying attention, so many Lings getting in, and oh dear, so many damage is being done here by viOlet. There are a lot more force fields left, but a sentry has already fallen. He tried to go up the main, to the main base there for a second, but nice force field out of EGAxslav blocking that off. viOlet, I don't know about this. He did not deny the Nexus, and he's just losing a ton of Zerglings right now. As a result of this extended Zergling pressure, I want to call it, he does not have a third base right now. He should really not be too far ahead on probes workers either. Now he's only up by 8 workers right now, and usually a Zerg player would want to be ahead a little bit more. The Void right now has 13 kills, most of which of course being Zerglings, and not that big of a deal. Back in the main base of viOlet, we do see him going for a relatively normal timed lair. His third base is obviously a little bit late because he invested in so many more of those Zerglings. I'm not too sure if it was worth it. The earlier Zerglings were definitely worth it. They denied a Nexus and they killed some sentries, but the second round of Zerglings hasn't really done much. They killed 1 sentry, I think, and maybe a few probes. Only 1. So that second round of Zerglings was definitely not worth it by viOlet. He could have been ahead way more than he is now. Just checking out some things here. The lair is about to finish up. I'm interested to see what viOlet's gonna get. He used to be known for his Hydra play, but he's really been slowing down on that a little. He does have the 4 gases up and running, and looks like it's gonna be the Spire play out of viOlet. Very standard to see him do that. 3 Spine Crawlers have been added on. A lot of Zerglings are being created because he has some excess minerals right now. The third base is... Oh, the third base might get denied here. Are those queens gonna get there in time? Oh, I think the queens should be in time. But this base is definitely taking a lot of damage. With some cute micro out of EGAxslav, he might actually be able to do some more damage to it. No, he's just choosing to fly out of there. Some transfuses going down on that hatch. But this hatchery definitely more vulnerable right now to be sniped by anything. Some zealots could try and snipe that, but the sick amount of Zerglings will most likely prevent that. The Spire is about 75% done right now in the back of the mineral line of the natural base. Void Ray still being cute. The 14 kill Void Ray, now 15, denying that creep tumor. Actually, I didn't know that. Looks like creep tumors are living things as well. They count as kills. Interesting. Back in EGAxslav base, he's adding on some Immortals into the mix, getting another ground armor upgrade. Queen, man, he's really being so active with his Void Ray. Getting so much out of this one Void Ray. An Observer... barely staying alive. That was so close. 11 mutas now on the way. EGAxslav scouting that Spire. He's now throwing up some emergency defenses, as are these 2 cannons in his main base. He should get his Stalkers in position to defend against those mutas. Uh-oh. Here come the first mutas. They fly right by the Observer, and looks like viOlet wants to end this on 3 base. He's not been droning up as much as he could have been. He is only at 61 workers right now, and EGAxslav really needs to hold on right now. The mutas are gathering up in the top right, while the forces of EGAxslav, the Lings that is, gather up in the bottom left. We can see some double pronged attacks here. The mutas flying into the main base. Some Stalkers already in position. There's only 11 mutas right now, so the 5 Stalkers and 2 cannons are enough to deter them for this time. And looks like viOlet realizes that his mutas and Lings will not be doing as much damage as he had hoped, and he's now adding on more drones. 11 drones were on the way just now. He's really droning up like a madman. He's gonna be at that really nice amount of 70 relatively soon. 70 drones on 3 bases, really good. When you go for that 4th, you might want to go up to 80 as a Zerg. We've seen Destiny go up all the way to 110 workers in some of his matches, but of course Destiny is the hugest, biggest troll ever. He just loves to troll around a little bit. The window for the damaging window for the Mutas is definitely closing right now. As Blink finishes up, those Stalkers could definitely blink in there and kill those Mutas off relatively easily. Here they come. What damage are they going to be doing? They could be picking up one of those simulators. Stalkers coming in. I was actually going to run, because the Stalkers have pretty decent upgrades. +2 is about to finish up as well. Those Mutas have no upgrades just yet. And here we go. Oh no, where's EGAxslav army at? EGAxslav army. Oh dear God. I'm just speechless right now. We're going to see a huge base trade scenario here, and I don't think EGAxslav is going to come out on top. He's just pushing out at the most random of random timings ever. The Mutas are wrecking havoc in his main base. Not a single probe will live. And when you get into this sort of a situation that the Protoss player actually does have this base here still mining, so he's not completely out of it just yet. But he is down by 60 supply. Nice force field on the ramp, preventing those roaches from coming down. And looks like this lair will be falling. Not a lot of production on the way for viOlet. He needs to keep this ramp force fielded, though. Actually, it doesn't matter that much. There's only 4 roaches anyway. More Archons joining up in the main base. Everything is being ravaged. The only mining base is down here right now, and it is relatively safe. I don't think the Mutas and the Lynx can bust this as easily. More cannons on the way. EGAxslav is completely broke. This is all he's got. Looks like the Spire is going to be falling, as well as the lair is already down. Is he going to push up into the main base? There's not a lot of stuff here for viOlet. He's building a ton of spines. What an intelligent move out of viOlet. The supplies have been equalizing a little bit, but EGAxslav is going to go into the biggest supply block ever. 112 over 98 right now, and if these other pylons fall, it's going to be even worse. And Archon is being morphed for... Oh, what the hell? This is so crazy. Look at that. All those overlords evacuating the drones and units out of viOlet, out of that base. That is so incredibly good. EGAxslav still hugely supply blocked. There is a Archon here to help defend. And EGAxslav doesn't even know where to place all his buildings right now. This is such a weird maze. Feels like I'm looking at some tower defense game. And everything falls in the main base for viOlet. He has all his infrastructure and all his defenses set up at the 3rd base. He does have a 4th base, which is going to start mining. Look at that. All the units that he evacuated from the main base. viOlet, you're so insanely good. The Mutas are now double tapping. I wanted to say, I'm not sure what the correct term is. I forget about that. The roaches coming in. And oh, I do think that viOlet's got the superior army composition now. Oh, things are not looking good for EGAxslav. They get some decent force fields there. Kills a few of those roaches off for free. This one Void Ray is still hanging around, and it's going to be killed. EGAxslav is not going to be happy about this additional base for viOlet. viOlet will be pulling ahead more and more and more and more, and I don't think there's much that EGAxslav can do about it at this point. He is going to be joining up with this rest of his army, and he really has to deny this base right now. And looks like viOlet is aware that this is a very plausible target, I guess. Just double checking on my stream right there, because I don't have a co-caster and I don't have 2 monitors, so it can be tough for me to catch all the action and catch all the stuff that goes down in my stream. Really sorry for that quick interruption. And here we go. The Stalkers for EGAxslav are trying to deny that 2nd base, I guess, out of viOlet, but the Mutas are still out. Of course, there's no lair, so those roaches do not have the best upgrades ever. Oh, some Banelings actually coming into play as well. And here we go. This is going to be the last engagement of the game. Some perfect force fields, trapping a lot of the roaches in the front. This Archon is doing a ton of damage to the Mutas. Mutas punching up a little there. But is it going to be enough for EGAxslav? I don't know. It's so close right now. The Immortals are doing a fantastic amount of damage. This one Immortal is making a huge difference. 17 kills. Here come the Baneling drops though. Oh, those sentries are so exposed. EGAxslav not reacting to the Overlords. And oh my god, all the sentries getting taken out in a single blast. The Immortal still standing, 19 kills at this point. The rest of the Banelings not doing too much damage. And looks like EGAxslav is actually doing really well here. Supplies have equalized. This is the last army standing. All the drones are being pulled. This is still extremely close. This is anyone's game to take. The drones are making a huge difference here, and EGAxslav is down to only Blink Stalkers, but Blink Stalkers versus drones do actually really well. All these spines moving down into this position right now. More reinforcement joining up, which is in the form of more Blink Stalkers. All the Lynx are still sitting in this base for viOlet, and they could come into play a little bit later on. The additional spine crawlers now burrowing, and that's going to be another 5 spine crawlers that EGAxslav has to push into. And 77 supply to 72 right now, but EGAxslav, of course, does not have that additional base. Some sweet Blinkstalker micro going down, not losing too many of those Blinkstalkers, but oh, the Roach Can for viOlet is ever growing. EGAxslav now falling behind in supply a little bit. 68, he is getting an additional base. That is really cute. And here we go, viOlet. Oh my god, this is so intelligent. So many banelings being morphed. But is it going to work out? There's some cannons here which could shoot down those banelings before they reach the mineral line. I do not know. EGAxslav now really intelligent. I think I say that a lot, intelligent. Really smart, I guess I could call this as well. Is going to circumvent these spine crawlers, but I do think there's enough roaches at this point. +1 defense. Oh, the Stalkers do have way superior upgrades. That is definitely coming into play here as well, and actually giving him the edge in this battle. EGAxslav retreating because, oh my god, I missed the banelings. Oh damn, I missed the banelings. And is this base going to stay alive? I think it is. Two zealots are being warped in, and oh my god, I missed the banelings. I'm so sad right now. EGAxslav, oh man, is he going to deny this roach warren over here? There is one zealot into this mix that's going to help a little bit against all the roaches and the zerglings, of course. And is it going to be enough for viOlet? Some nice blink micro going down. The roaches for viOlet becoming increasingly low in numbers. viOlet has nothing to produce other than links right now. His drone count is relatively low as well, but he killed so many of EGAxslav's workers with those banelings here. It is still anyone's game to take here. This is such a sick game, as to be expected from such such brilliant players. 19 workers for EGAxslav, 24 for viOlet. Here come the zerglings though. Where are the roaches? The roaches were not engaging there for a long time. Some more stalkers falling. And EGAxslav is going to be evacuating here, but losing a lot while trying to do so. Still a lot of zerglings left. All those stalkers are on such low HP. Oh man, EGAxslav is in a world of trouble right now. So many zerglings. Those zerglings are really winning viOlet the game right now. All these stalkers could be falling here. I do think they will be. And yeah, they are going to be falling. Maybe one or two lucky ones can get away. Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine. There's no... Oh my god. Oh, there's an Overseer here. Sick. He still has an Overseer. He would not be able to make any detection right now. This base is so vulnerable. The roaches and lings are moving in. It's not a ton of roaches and lings though. There's some zealots and some... I guess he could hold this. He could hold this. I do think. There's only 10 roaches and a few zerglings, but more zerglings are on the way. Gold base being taken by viOlet. He is still not teching up though, so the only detection that he has is this one Overseer. But that one Overseer is going to be so important. The Dark Shrine now finishes, and there are going to be some DTs warped in. There is some minerals saved up. Could use these DTs for the defense as well. I think that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Or actually, no, he's not too sure what he's doing right now. He could be defending against a small army. I do think his cannon is going to be falling. EGAxslav, what are you trying to do right now? He's trying to surprise his opponent with the DTs. I don't think the DTs have been spotted or noticed by viOlet just yet. And this one Overseer could be game-changing. I hope viOlet realizes he still has an Overseer. Of course, he doesn't have a lair, so he won't be able to morph anytime soon. And viOlet actually pushing into the one remaining base out of EGAxslav right now. Here come the DTs. 3 of them. There is no detection here, and the lair is trying to go up. Is viOlet going to realize he has an Overseer? Is he going to realize it? Is he going to realize it? No, he's not realizing it just yet. The attack at the base is being shut down by a few DTs. He is still not realizing he has an Overseer here. viOlet! Oh no, it could cost him the game. The hatchery falls, and the DT is in here. Finally, he sees that he has an Overseer, and oh man, that was so sloppy by viOlet. He could be losing. Oh, if he loses this gold base as well, 2 more DTs are... Oh man, this is so crazy. This base still has a lot of minerals left. EGAxslav is starting to run a little bit low here. He has some zealots and some DTs here. There's only one Overseer out right now. He could really take advantage of that, and he is. Is this base gonna fall? Is this base gonna fall? This one didn't, and this one is not gonna fall either. EGAxslav has to push right now, and I think the Overseer will be back in time. Speed has finished for that Overseer before the lair was finished up, and this gold base is in a ton of trouble. Does he have enough units to deal with it? There's a ton of zerglings, but a ton of zealots as well. The gold base does fall, but I think there's enough. Wow, this one Archon is gonna make a lot of difference. It gets surrounded though, so it's gonna go down relatively fast to those zerglings, but not before getting off some key hits. Yeah, I think it's starting to look really grim for EGAxslav here. He is going to try to expand again. EGAxslav, such a macro player, man. So insane. This Stalker, the DT, I'm not too sure more. Oh my god, this hatchery is at 43 HP. If he could blink that Stalker in there and kill it off, that's going to be huge. Looks like he is going to lose this hatchery again. EGAxslav not out of this. I'm completely wrong, guys. EGAxslav still has a really good fighting chance here. He needs to keep that Overseer here to deny this hatchery from falling. One more DT hack would take it down. This is so interesting. Where is that evolution chamber? Why is he not making some spores? Some spores here would make him so safe. Here come the Zerglings again, gonna be able to deny this Nexus out of EGAxslav here. He does not have any DTs to defend it. There's no way that's gonna stay alive. And here he goes. He's gonna snipe this hatchery slash lair. I think he is. Actually losing a... Oh man, losing a DT there. His DTs are so precious right now. This DT working away this expansion. This is so crazy. Why is viOlet not dropping some spores? He could drop 2 spores, move him down to the low ground, and he would be completely fine. He does have the evolution chamber here. I'm a little bit puzzled by EGAxslav play right now. Looks like all the workers are evacuating out of there for EGAxslav because of the Ling run by that happened. Only a few mineral patches left here. How many minerals are left in here? About 700, I'd say, so that's going to be enough to start another Nexus. This 1DT is still doing a ton of damage. This is Lair, man, 95 HP. The Overseer, second Overseer is now out. The Spine Crawler does fall, and this DT needs to be kept alive. Oh, we could see an engagement here. How many roaches does he have? Oh my god, viOlet has the far superior army. He has speed. Yeah, I do think that EGAxslav is going to have all his units chased down here if he is not careful. And yeah, he knows he has to engage. And this Overseer is probably going to be winning viOlet the game here. These roaches are going to clean up everything. All those super expensive DTs are falling. There's nothing left in terms of defense for EGAxslav, and looks like this crazy game is coming to an end. The Lair, 43 HP, staying alive. Another base coming up for viOlet, and EGAxslav is on the ropes. He has nothing left, and there's the GG out of EGAxslav. viOlet is going to be advancing. Oh man, that was such a crazy game. I am not disappointed in our 2 players here. This was absolutely crazy. What? Was this a best of 3? Oh my god, that's so stupid. Nerdswagger told me this was a best of 1. Oh man. Looks like my co-caster was being a little bit mean on me. So that's good news for you. I guess it was already shown up in chat. But... oh great. So it's gonna be best of 3. Sorry guys. I was misinformed. Oh my god, a best of 3, that's really sick. Anyway guys, I'm going to be running a quick commercial. Looks like we're going to be back with Game 2 in this best of 3 series here, the quarterfinals of the Playhem EU Daily. viOlet versus EGAxslav, Game 2 coming up. I'm really sorry, I was a little bit misinformed there, so hang tight, we'll be right back.
Taylor, rock and roll. Good people, good times. Right on. Rock and roll. Tim Smith. It's fun to say Tim Smith. Yeah, Tim Smith will take you to the mountain. Rock and roll.
You have technicians here making noise. No one is a musician. They're not artists because nobody can play the guitar.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Playhem EU Daily. Thank you for tuning in. I am Lurlian and I'm going to be solo casting this best of 3 between viOlet and EGAxslav. We are headed into game 2 right now. We've seen game 1 was really crazy. You've seen a caster thinking it was a best of 1 while it was actually a best of 3, so that was a little bit sloppy. I apologize. I think I changed my settings around now a little bit, so it's going to be fine. Our admins will be able to notify me if I'm being a noob again. So, we are in game 2 right now. I'm looking at viOlet right now. He's our purple Zerg player. In the 9 o'clock spawn position on MLG Shadow Temple, he's going up against none other than evil geniuses. Geniuses. Maybe a few sisses. Too many in there. But it's going to be EGAxslav, our red Protoss player, in the 3 o'clock. And he looked really good in game 1 for a long time. But yeah, viOlet just keeping his act together, finally realizing he had that Overseer. We see that was such a weird game. I'm not really too sure what to say about that. When the game gets to those kind of weird situations, there's just not too much you can really say about it. It really came down to viOlet keeping his lair alive at 43 HP, and EGAxslav going for the DTs definitely brought him back into this game, but it barely wasn't enough. We see that EGAxslav is going for a very standard gateway kind of style here on this map. It's definitely standard, I would say, on this map to go for the gateway cybercore play. Sometimes we see players go for a Forge Expand on this map. I'm sure Naniwa would love to do a Forge Expand on this map. Another Protoss player who loves to go for Forge Expands on any map is Soke. I think Squirtle used to be very known as well for going Forge Expand on pretty much every map. But not every Protoss player is comfortable in doing so. EGAxslav often saying on his stream that he thinks he has the worst micro of any pro player. So maybe that's why he doesn't want to bother with Stalker, Micro and Sentry force fields to be able to deal with that. EGAxslav prides himself for his tactics, his game insight, and his decision making and macro, but definitely not for his micro. He said he's always working on improving that. So that could be why he's not going for the Forge Expand. It could involve a lot of micro, to go for that Forge Expand, trying to keep it safe from the roaches, keeping that one Stalker alive and micro it against it. We see players like Huck love to do that. They're so good with micro. Huck is definitely one of the top tier players as far as it goes regarding APM, actions per minute, and the micro that comes with it. Anyway, enough about